Hola, everybody. Commissioner by himself again. Scotty's going to get his hair did. I feel like I say this every week now, but he has to look cute for Thanksgiving, so that's his excuse. And he won this week, so he's not just like hiding because he lost again. Um, so we got some fun stuff that happened this week. I don't think this was. I don't think we've had a week like this where a Monday night football game held every single matchup except for one, because we'll start with it. Brandon got his ass kicked by me, 123-76. The only thing Monday night held for me and Brandon's matchup was how bad was I going to kick his ass, um, and it wound up being bad. So I didn't beat him by 50, only by 47. So good showing, Brandon. Um, JG and Darren, that one it was kind of up in the air. Darren had Patrick Mahomes left, and JG had Kareem Hunt. It was only a 9-point spread between the two. So if Kareem Hunt went off and Mahomes didn't, then JG had a shot. But Mahomes scored 35 points, lit it up, and Darren won 111-84. Even Scotty versus Fabian came down to Monday night, and I thought it was a joke. He's down by like 16 points going into Monday night, but he's got Todd Gurley and Robert Woods, and you're thinking, whatever, dude. Todd Gurley's going to score the 16 all by himself. Then all of a sudden, we were getting towards the fourth quarter, and he still hadn't gotten those 16 points. Todd Gurley only scored him 8. Luckily, Robert Woods got him a touchdown, scored some decent points, and he still wound up winning that matchup by 7, 103-96, but absolutely made him sweat it out a lot more than he thought he was going to have to. And it's a bummer because he left the Rams defense on his bench, who scored 2 defensive touchdowns. And even though they gave up 50 some odd points, still were a decent defensive play for the week. I think they had like 5 turnovers, a bunch of sacks, 2 defensive touchdowns. It's ridiculous. But in the end, he prevailed anyway. Eli was facing Craig. Craig was up by 6 going into the night with Reynolds left to play for Eli, and that was it. And Reynolds got a touchdown in like the first quarter, ended that shit real quick. So Eli finally gets back to the winning streak that he thought his super team was going to do all season, 117-109, and now sits the 6th seed. Last matchup was Brandy and Nikki. That was probably the last one to get decided. Thought Nikki had it. And all of a sudden, Tyreek Hill and his 33 points happened. Um, it is crazy. That 71-yard touchdown pass to Tyreek Hill all by itself beat Nikki. That's all it took. And, he might have still been holding out to maybe get a field goal by Zerline and maybe send that shit to overtime, kick another one and win. But it was not to be. Tyreek Hill single-handedly beat Nikki's team 126-119. So those are your scores from last week. Our power rankings. We have another new first place team in the power rankings. Ranked number 1 in our power rankings is, of course, myself. Listen, I should make a collage of how many of you guys told me my team sucked or that I was going to be awful. Fabian said I was going to be last place this year. So instead, I'm 9-2. Yeah. So not last place. So I wound up in first for the power rankings. Scotty is in second. JG third. Darren, Brandy, Nikki, Craig, Eli, Fabian, and Brandon. And just saying, if Fabian or Brandon win a game to end the season, you'll lock the other one into last place. Brandon's creeping up on Fabian. It's getting there. As far as playoffs, so let's talk about playoffs because with 2 weeks left in the season, playoffs is what you guys care about. Are you going to be one of the 6 teams to get a spot in the show? I can tell you right now, 3 teams have clinched. Myself, JG, and Scotty have clinched a spot in the playoffs. Brandy is close. Scotty's got a leg up because he scored 100 more points than virtually everyone except for me. And everyone below him is much more than 100 points back when it comes to scoring. So you're never going to catch him in 2 weeks in points. So therefore, he gets the clinch. Brandy is right there. But she needs at least 1 loss from Craig to get in. So, sorry, I had to stop, and I forgot where it was. I think I was talking about Brandy getting the playoffs. She's going to be in, let's be honest. So, I went through some playoff scenarios and how everybody gets in. So, you know what? Rather than go in order, I'm just going to pick randomly, right? So, let's start with Eli. Why not? Fuck it, right? You know, let's let a Mexican kid finally get his due and get to go first. So Eli, currently your 6th seed right now. He has to either win out, because he's got 2 teams below him in the standings, back at least 1 game, one of them's 2. So if you win both of your games, you control your own destiny. You make it, you're in. He does have to play both Brandy this week and Scotty next week. 2 teams that are 7 and 4, so it's not an easy road. But if he can go over 70 points, he can probably do it. Or if he just gets 1 win and Craig loses, he is also in. So that's Eli's path to the playoffs. Next is Fabian. If all of us die, then he's in. So that's how that works. So if we all just died and deleted our teams, we'd have to do that too. If we just died, the auto set lineup would still beat him. So we can't just die. We have to die and then delete our whole team from the league page. And even then, I don't think it's still possible for him to get in the playoffs. But nonetheless, sorry, Fob, you out. Let's see, Brandy. Ooh, we started with Brandy kind of a little bit. So she can clinch a playoff with a win or a loss by Craig. Either one. She doesn't need both. She can get a first round bye if JG and Scotty lose at least once, and she's got to win out. So, I mean, again, possible. Scotty's playing Eli and Darren, I think, and you know, and JG's got an easy matchup this week, but he plays me next week, so that could be a matchup that he could lose because he lost to me earlier this year. Just saying. So yeah, that's Brandy's road. Darren, he's got Scotty and Craig to end the season. He can clinch a playoff spot if he can get a win and a Craig lost, or a win and an Eli loss. Either one, and he's in. So really just needs to either beat Scotty this week or beat Craig next week. And he should, obviously, if he beats Craig, then there's the Craig loss he needs. So really that game against Craig gets him in the playoffs if he wins. Craig. Let's talk about Craig. Craig needs to win out. That's number 1. And he needs at least 1 loss by Eli. He's got him outscored in points by a ton. So all he's got to do is be tied in record, and he'll take him out. Someone waved at me on Facebook. Oh, crap, because I forgot to do something. I can't tell you what it is, but I forgot to do it. Yeah, so, or he can win 1, and if Eli loses out. Again, fully possible for Eli to lose out here. He's got a tough road ahead. He's facing both 7 and 4 teams. Yeah. So that's Craig's road. Scotty. Let's go to Scotty. He's already clinched the playoffs. He scored so many goddamn points that there's, even if he dropped to the last two games and everybody at the bottom and Craig and shit were tied with him in record, it still wouldn't matter because he scored that many points this season. He can get a bye if JG loses, so say like to me next week, and he's got to win out. There's really not many teams Scotty isn't the favorite to win by, so winning out should happen for him. This week might be rough on him, but it's a little bit of vomit there. But yeah, so possible. Nikki, I know on my video last week I said that my bold prediction was Nikki was gonna make the playoffs. In 8th place at 4-7, no possibility of a winning record. Nikki still has a shot at the playoffs. If he wins out, finishes 6 and 7, he can get in. He just needs Eli to lose out and Craig to lose 1. That's it. That's it. That's it. He's got Fabian and he's got Brandon to end the season. These are winnable games, and his team has scored 100 points more than almost everybody in the league. So he's up there over 100. And he's facing two teams that can't score over 100. He should win these matchups. And the fact that Craig plays me and then Darren, it's a good chance Craig loses one of those. And Eli plays Brandy and Scotty, he could lose both of those. And if all that shit happens, Nikki winds up the 6th seed. And I got a Dr. Pepper shirt on. So yeah. So imagine that. Imagine a fucking team that was 4-7 eking its way into the playoffs. It can happen. The disparity in how good the teams at the top are have made there a lot of losses on the bottom 4. So I mean, it's possible that a losing record could make it into our playoffs. And not just make it in. Nikki's got to be scary. You got to understand that he scored 100 points at 8 out of the 11 weeks. Guess what? It takes one bad week and you're gone. So, don't count him out as the 8th seed. Myself, the playoff scenario is I'm in, obviously, at 9-2. I can clinch a first round bye with a win either this week or next week. Or if Brandy or Scotty lose once, I have a first round bye. I clinch the 1 seed if I can win and JG loses. So if I win, Brandy and Scotty can't catch me. And if JG loses somehow in a miracle this week, then he won't be able to catch me even if he beats me next week. So that's how the buys work out. JG, same thing. He clinches a bye with a win, and Scotty and Brandy have to lose this week. We'll clinch a bye for him. If he's to get the number 1 seed, he just needs to win out. So JG wins out, he's the number 1 seed. He'll have to win this week, and then he'll have to beat me next week. Not only will I have to do that, but I would have to, if I win this week, he would have to outscore me on the season as well. And right now he's 28 points back. So he'd have to make sure he outscored me at the same time. So, last and absolutely least, Brandon's playoff hopes. So remember how I said if Fabian made it because we all died and deleted our teams? Everybody and Fabian would also have to die and delete their teams. And then Brandon could watch the empty rosters tie while he lost from the consolation bracket. The only way he could actually find a way in the playoffs is if he figured out mine or Scotty's password and then put himself in the playoffs physically. That's probably not going to happen. So, a little bit of housekeeping now that we've got everybody's playoff scenarios intact is league dues. Listen, people, there's some of y'all that still haven't paid your league dues. You got it to Scotty. I know Brandy got hers in to me, so I have Brandy's league dues, so you're good. But JG and Darren and Brandon have not gotten their league dues in yet. Brandon is facing a hey, you can't play next year ban for not paying and being in last place, because obviously there's no other punishment that I can give you for not paying. I get it, you're 1-10. It does not behoove you to pay your league dues because you can't win the money anyway. But there's an honor thing where, like, you agreed to play, you knew it, we talked, you knew there was league dues coming. You need to pay the league dues, or I'll be booting you for next year. JG and Darren. Now, I didn't discuss this before the season, so I'm not going to do it. But, normally JG and Darren, for not paying your league dues, you would be ineligible for the playoffs, and the two people below you would get your spot. Because they paid, and that's not fair for people who paid their league dues to miss the playoffs, and someone who didn't pay their league dues to not make the playoffs. So you guys can still make the playoffs. You can still win and everything, but you are ineligible to hold the belt, and you are ineligible for the money if you win. So get your league dues in. You can Venmo it to me. You can Cash App it to Scotty. That's what Brandy did. She Venmo'd me. But once the playoffs start, day one of the playoffs, if you don't have your league dues in, you're ineligible for the money, and you are ineligible for the belt. I won't put your name on it. Whoever comes in second place to you will have their name on the belt. So you can win it online, but you're ineligible to be league champion if you don't pay your league dues. 7 people paid their league dues, and you 3 didn't. So, especially JG. I mean, you're 8-3. You're up at the top. You got a good squad. You got a real shot to win this. Even Darren, he's been, he's lost one matchup in his last 7, maybe 2 in his last 7. He's on a roll. He's scoring a ton of points. He could surprise people and win this league. So, guys, pay your league dues. I know Scotty's been saying it ad nauseum on every video we've been doing lately, but, find a way to pay your league dues, because the second the playoffs start, no one else is getting in as far as for the money and for the belt. I'm not going to sit here and we'll let people roll through the fucking playoffs. When people paid money, you didn't. So let's not try and chew out. So yeah, that's my housekeeping. Remember, Venmo. Send me a message. You know that annoying Facebook Messenger where Eli just posts the meme of the Big Show saying "suck it"? Message me. I'll give you my Venmo. Or message, and Scotty will give you Cash App if you use that. But it's real easy. $30. Send it in.